Hi guys, Mel here from Mel's Motors. Today I've got a 2014 Ford Ranger. Customer complaint is it loses power whilst driving. I'm in the car now, just looking down. The engine management light is on, so we know there's an issue. But before I commence with any scanning, I'm going to do a road test first. Anyway, stick around, see if we can find this problem. Okay guys, so I've come back from the road test. Customer complaint not verified. It's driving normally. It's got plenty of power. It's doing what it's supposed to be doing. But I did notice in the background, normally when I do a road test, I make sure the radio's off so I can hear, see what the engine's doing, the car's doing, and so forth. I can hear that there's some kind of whooshing sound coming from under the bonnet. Sounds like a possible turbo pressure leak. So I'm in the car, I've got my scanner on, so we've got some fault codes, so I'll just show you what they are. One fault code is glow plug open circuit. Now normally a glow plug won't bring the engine management light on, so it's unlikely that's going to be our issue. Also got mass or volume airflow, A circuit range performance, airflow too high. Now fault codes are fantastic for letting us look in certain areas, but for some of you out there believe that fault codes are telling you what the problem is. No, fault codes sometimes will tell you what the problem is, but a lot of times they'll tell you to look somewhere, and they're giving you quite valuable information. Now on their own, fault codes are not very helpful. You'll have to look at some live data. Now those of you who have OBD scanners, just generic £15 jobbies from Amazon and eBay, they'll probably give you a fault code, but that's about all you can do with it. Most high-end scanners, this is a Topdon, will give us live data so we can do variable tests whilst driving. The other thing with fault codes is they're not dated, so we have no idea if these are historic fault codes or they're new fault codes. There's no dates with them. Now this one's saying glow plug open circuit. There's a good chance that someone may have left it unplugged and turned the ignition on, realised, put it back on. Now that might be a historic fault code. There's no way of knowing that unless we clear it and then go for a road test. But this is my area of concern. Mass airflow, volume flow, A circuit range performance. So this is saying airflow too high. Now how's it going to know the airflow is too high? What's it measuring against? Well, as the engine is drawing in air to mix it with the fuel to do its job, it senses how much air is coming in through the mass airflow. And also this is a turbocharged engine, so as a turbo boosts, it will have a MAP sensor, which is a manifold absolute pressure sensor, which gauges how much boost the turbo is producing. Now it's not complaining about that, it's complaining about the mass airflow being too high. So it's saying it's got more air coming in than it's potentially boosting. So if there's more air coming in, there's a good chance there's an air leak somewhere. I did mention as I went for a road test that I could hear some kind of whooshing sound. So what I'm going to do is get under the bonnet, have a quick visual check, see if we can see anything. If not, we'll get the smoke machine and see if we can see if there is a leak. I'm not saying there is a leak, but I can hear something that was there. Okay, so here we are under the bonnet. On this side we've got our airflow meter, so we're going to look for, it's unlikely there's going to be a leak this side of the airflow meter, this side. I reckon if there is going to be a leak, it's going to be further on or possibly at the intercooler. So this is the intake here. We have a MAP sensor here, which is the boost manifold absolute pressure or boost pressure sensor. Looks like this might be that particular sensor. I've also noticed around the battery here, you could see there's some black residue, and if I just turn my head around, we can see there's a split in the hose. So I haven't had to go very far or look very hard to find this particular issue. See the split? So if I did a smoke test from the other end, there's a good chance we'll get smoke coming out of here. So I can clearly see there's a split in this hose, and because we've got black staining here, you can see slight oil residue from the turbocharger. We know that there's losing boost there, so under pressure this hose swirls and it's pretty much just blows out whatever's in there. So airflow meter is doing its job properly. It says I can see a problem. Have a look to see if we can find the problem, and we've had a look and we found the problem right here. So got a new part from Ford, so I'm going to put that on and go for a road test and see if that cures that problem. If it cures that problem, after clearing it, we'll have a look at this glow plug, see if that comes back. Like I said, it could be a historic fault code. Someone maybe even change that glow plug at some point, but a road test should reveal that. Okay guys, just before I go through the road test, got my smoke machine set up. For the benefit of doubt, that we are just going to do a smoke test. Those of you who follow my channel, I always like to show you test procedures and how to test stuff. We found this split visually, but it's not always that easy. So just going to put the smoke machine on and we'll have a quick look over here to see if we can see the smoke. Might take a little while to come through. And there we can just about see the smoke spewing out. And my torch is running out of battery. There we go, split confirmed. Okay, so I've got the hose off. I've put the smoke tester back on, capped the other end, just so you can see how bad the split was. That's just without any pressure in it. As the pressure builds up, that swells even more. That's why I could hear that whooshing sound. Okay, time to put the new one in and then go for a road test. Just before we do the road test, let's clear these fault codes down, otherwise it's a bit of a pointless road test. Alright. Okay, all clear. Just start it up. Okay, management lights off, all good. Okay, let's go for a road test. Okay, we've come back from the road test, drives nice, still in it. I've got the scanner on and we have a glow plug fault, so that is an actual fault. I've cleared it, it's come back on twice, so that's something we're going to need to address. This is a diesel with a DPF, hence the glow plugs. With a DPF, if the glow plugs don't work, it's unlikely the DPF will regenerate, because most diesels use a glow plug to warm the cylinder gases up so that you get an efficient regeneration. So that's something that's going to need to be addressed sooner rather than later. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this short video. It's fault codes. Don't always rely on the fault code to tell you what you think the fault might be. So some people may have changed an airflow meter thinking it's an airflow meter fault, but it isn't. It's a fault telling you to look somewhere, and we looked and we found that there was a leak. So the intake was higher than the boost, because the boost was escaping through the split in the hose. So guys, as always, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe button, and the bell notification. If you like videos like this, there'll be a couple of videos up there, one up there, one down there. Click on those. And as always, we'll see you next time. Take care guys.